Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Derek Collins, and I'm here to talk to you about designing your life. This is something that's very important to me because I tell my clients and the students that I'm working with all the time, I say, hey, it's time for you to stop existing and start living, okay? What floats your boat? What makes you excited? What makes you get up in the morning? If you do not have that thing, it's time to figure it out. It's time to get out a sheet of paper and analyze your life, analyze your past, because I'm sure there were things in your past that got you excited. And if they excited you before, they might excite you today. And that's what the problem is where a lot of people is that they're living an unfulfilled life. They are existing and they're just walking around on autopilot. And we want to get out of that. We want to have experiences. And sometimes that's what it boils down to. People are not having enough experiences, therefore, they don't know what excites them. So that's one of the things that we teach our students, is to get more experiences. You cannot figure out what excites you or even what you're good at if you don't get experiences under your belt. So we teach our students how to get more experiences and do more things and be involved in different things that they may not be familiar with because they might be a natural at it. Imagine there are people in this world that are just natural piano players. They touch the piano for the first time and they're just naturals. But if they never touched the piano, how would they know? Okay? So what we want to do is give people access to different experiences, different things, different environments, different situations that might get them excited about life, and also refer to the past and figure out, hold on, what excited me when I was 5, what excited me when I was 8, what excited me when I was 10, 12, 15, and so on and so forth. Okay? Because we want to, once again, design our lives. Okay? We're either dying or we're what? Growing. Okay? Which one do you want to be? Do you want to grow or do you want to die? We're like a plant. You're either growing or you're dying. Which one is it? So we want to map out our lives and get out a sheet of paper and figure out, okay, what are some of the things that I like? Okay? What are some of the things that I don't like? What are some things that I need to remove from my life? What are some things that I need to add to my life? What experiences would I like to try out? Our goal is to get people to start dreaming again. I want you guys to start dreaming. That's the great thing about being a teenager. That's a great thing about being a child, is that we used to daydream. And if you're an adult, I don't want you to forget to daydream and to fantasize and think about the possibilities. Think about what's the best that can happen and not what's the worst that can happen. These are the things that we want to teach in our psychoeducation groups with our students. What's the best that can happen? We're not doing the whole trauma porn thing. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to, focus on the negativity of life. We're going to have a class about the positive things in life. What are the possibilities? What can potentially happen that's super good? What can go right? That's what we're going to focus on. Because whatever you focus on expands. And it's all about focusing on the right things and also thinking the right things and also doing the right things. All right? So we want to think, do, and then have. All right? So we want to be focused on the right things. It starts with our thought process. Our input determines our output. Always remember that. Our input determines our output. And we want to input good things into our computer, because this is a computer. Your input determines your output. What are you programming this with? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you paying attention to? So we want to teach our students that the input determines the output. Okay? So, thoughts can determine behaviors. Or actions, which can lead to different realities or results. That's what we want to think about. That's what we want to teach. We have to show them the process of thoughts, behaviors, actions, and results. And where did those thoughts come from? You know? And then also challenge these thoughts. Do these thoughts serve me? A lot of our students may be suffering with stinking thinking, or they might be suffering from poor self-talk. I know I was one of them. I was a student in school that had poor self-talk. Okay? And those thoughts determined what I would do, how I would behave. My behavior was based off of my programming. And I had to ask myself, now, thank God, are these thoughts serving me? If it's a negative thought that's not serving me, I get rid of it. I said, I'm not accepting that. And I'm not going to accept that as a belief, because that's when things become dangerous. When our thoughts, our negative thoughts, become negative beliefs that can eventually turn into a negative reality for a lot of people. We don't want that. We don't want that for our students. Very important that we discuss this thinking and how this cycle works. We need to understand the process and know how we can make interruptions and challenge these thoughts, challenge these behaviors. Is this working for you? Is it serving for you? And also, does it serve you for the short term or the long term? Because, of course, a lot of people, not just students, think about short term and not the long term implications of their actions. So what we do, we have this thing called a decision tree that we have in one of our classes that talks about the different choices that one can make and how it leads to different realities. So what happens if I go right? What happens if I go left? What can possibly happen? If I do this, what can happen? If I don't do it, what can happen? And one of the things that we want to do is teach our students how to map out their decisions. Because we're going to be great decision makers. We're going to practice making decisions in our groups. Just like we practice math, just like we practice reading, we're going to practice decision making in our groups. And that's what it's all about. We're going to map it out, and we're going to practice in a safe environment and discuss it and see what are the potential consequences, what are the potential benefits, and how can this serve the student or not serve the student. So these are things that we want to discuss and think about, and we want to map out in our groups. Okay? Also, we want to learn, they say what? A smart man learns from his mistakes, and a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. We want to evaluate mistakes. We want to evaluate lessons. We want to evaluate what worked and what did not work. Okay? Nothing is off the table when we're talking about social emotional learning. When it comes to thoughts, behaviors, and actions, results, and getting to the bottom of what our clients or our students are perceiving. And what framework are they perceiving things from? Very important to understand the frame and what they're referencing, to understand where they're coming from. Because you're going to have challenging students. I don't want to make it seem like this is a piece of cake and this is just easy. Okay? You're going to have people that come from broken homes, traumatic environments. You're going to have people that come from great homes. You're going to have people that believe different things, different religions, different beliefs about how they should be raised, different political views. And you have to be able to navigate all this in group, because all that stuff is going to come up. But there's one rule that I do have when we're teaching these classes. We do not talk about politics or religion. That's off the table. We're not talking about that. We're not discussing that. No politics, no religion. Okay? So if you're trying to have a great group, please do yourself a favor and do not talk about politics or religion. All right? And it's an open discussion. So you're not up here lecturing, okay, like I'm doing right now. You're not up here lecturing like I'm doing right now on the board. No. We're facilitating a discussion, asking open-ended questions, getting responses, directing traffic, sparking dialogue, and getting our students to engage. That's the whole point of this. We want to get our students to engage and get excited about having these conversations, because this is going to be the first time and probably ever that they get to express themselves without being penalized for it. So let's make this a good experience, because we don't want them to feel unsafe, and we don't want them to feel like they cannot express themselves. No, this is going to help them get stuff off their chest, and they might even get some new friends. And people might come to them and be like, hey, I didn't even know you thought like that. Or it might open some conversation and some dialogue and start some relationships within the school that have never been had before if it wasn't for this group. Okay? We can literally start friendships and build the school and build community and bring people together from having discussions. That's why I love this work so much, because we can build community and bring people together because we decided to have a discussion about school violence prevention. I love it. So we're talking about being positive. Okay? What's the best that can happen? We're talking about personal development, professional development. We're talking about mindset, having the right mindset. Let's write that down. What does that mean? Okay? Do we have a positive mindset? Do we have a negative mindset? Do we have a poverty mindset? Do we have an abundance mindset? Do we have an "oh, worries me" mindset? Do we have a mindset of hope and possibilities? Let's discuss it. This is your opportunity to run a fantastic group to get kids and students excited about what can potentially happen for them. Because I remember back in elementary school, back when I was in the 3rd grade or something like that, 2nd grade, and the students were like, oh, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be this, I want to be that. By the time they get into high school, all those dreams have changed. And especially as an adult, some people feel like they're limited. And we want to bring that excitement back. We want to bring back possibilities. And there's a whole bunch of possibilities with technology, AI, and just the advancement of society. But it depends on how we look at things, because we can look at things as, oh, this is going to be bad, or we can look at it as a good thing. Because some people have their issues with AI, some people have issues with technology, but it's not going anywhere. So we have to decide, are we going to use it or not? We got a discussion about AI in our groups. We can spark that conversation. What's your thoughts on AI, class? What's your thoughts on if this is going to take our jobs away? What's your thoughts on social media? What's your thoughts on influencers? Let's talk about these things. How can we use technology to improve our learning environment? Ask them those questions. How can we code better? How can we use technology to make our life easier? Some students in your class may have some wonderful solutions that are just dying to let the world know, or let your class know about them. A lot of times when children are frustrated, it's because they're not heard. And this is what this group is about. Giving our children a voice. Some of our teenagers, they have great ideas. But when they speak their ideas, or when they tell their ideas to other people, they get shot down, or they're not heard, or they're afraid of even talking about these things because they don't want to be embarrassed. I remember being that student in class scared to raise my hand because I knew the right answer. That was me. I didn't want to seem like the smart one in the group. I had to hide my brain. I knew the right answer, but I didn't want to raise my hand because I was worried about how people would judge me, how people would view me. In this group, in the school violence prevention program, we're going to discuss everything. We're going to open it up. We're going to get excited. This really excites me, by the way. Okay? That's why, like I said, when you guys get this, make sure you use it, okay? Make sure to use it to the fullest, all right? And get the training, by the way. But make sure that we talk about mindset. We're going to talk about fear. We're going to talk about courage, okay? One of the things I like to talk about is brave thinking. We want to have brave thinking. That's important. Do things that require bravery. Also, do what makes you proud. Okay, we're going to talk about doing things that make you proud. We're going to talk about principles. Okay? We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But it's important that you're really excited about this process, because your energy is going to determine how your students are going to respond to you. If you're in there, I gotta open this book and go to page, whatever, and then boom, they're not going to be into it. If you're not into it, they're not going to be into it. But if you're excited, you have your plan out, ready, and you know how to stir the pot a little bit, get them going, get a little debate going, little brew going, that'll get them excited. And please note that remember how things were when you were a teenager. Don't act oblivious. You know, things have changed a little bit, but a lot of things have stayed the same. So remember how things were when you're a teenager, but don't hold them to those standards, but also understand that they're going through hormones, emotions. Their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed right now, so a lot of their decisions and their thoughts are going to be based off of emotion, and that's okay. You need to already understand that going in the class, the group, and when you're facilitating. Understand this, and don't be like, oh man, they gave the wrong answer, or oh, I don't agree with that. They're going to go through this. They're not going to have the right answers. There's going to be things that they say that you're not going to agree with, and that's okay. The goal is to get them to process information, get their information out, and have a conversation and get some things off their chest so they're not fighting in the schools. If they're getting this energy off through discussion, then they don't have the energy to fight or bully someone. If we already had the discussion about bullying and how it's lame and what it stems from, then guess what? The bullies in the room don't want to be a bully no more because they already know you've already psychoanalyzed the whole bully situation in front of the classroom, so no one wants to be a bully anymore. So this is why it's important to have these discussions in group, because we've already handled this. So you need to come prepared. You have to come excited. I don't care if you only got 30 minutes out the day. For that 30 minutes, be excited about it, because we're preventing some drama from happening in your school, because we want to make your job easier. As a teacher, shoot, I know it's hard. I used to substitute teach long time ago. I was in my 20s when I did that. And boy, I feel for y'all, especially the middle school teachers. Man, elementary was super easy. High school was super easy. That middle school, oh no. I'm cool on that. Especially as a sub. Now it's different if you're in class, probably you have a rapport and you've been there all year, but as a sub, middle school, But anyway, but we talk about things that make them proud and we do things that make us proud, because we want to build our confidence, and we want our students to build their confidence. And one of the ways to building their confidence is them doing things that make them proud, but also not breaking promises to themselves. One of the things that will build your confidence is not breaking promises to yourself and doing what you say you're going to do, and doing things that make you feel proud, having some courage, facing your fears, and having a positive mindset, and having something to look forward to, being excited about something. Okay? Having goals written down. And understand, if you take a loss, if you take an L, it's a lesson. Okay? It's a lesson. Okay? We pick ourselves up, we're going to be resilient, learn from it, and move on. Because if we can look up, we can get up. And we can fight another day. And sometimes life is about picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and building yourself up and challenges. Because if everything's all easy, then where do we get the resilience from? Where do we get the grit from? Where do we get the perseverance from if everything's easy? We explain this to the children, or the students, or our teenagers. Let's have a real conversation. We're going to teach them how to be young men, young women with resilience that know how to get up and fight for what they want. And even if things don't go their way, they learn from it and try again and pursue their goals anyway. Just because it doesn't happen the first time, we're going to show them that it can happen the second time, the third time, or even fourth time. And sometimes we'll teach them how to make slight adjustments to get to their destination. Because sometimes life is not about changes, but it can be a slight adjustment that will have them in a new destination. Okay? That's why it's important to really get into this and really study this before you teach the group. Okay? Don't just go out there winging it and you never looked at the curriculum and you say, oh, I'm going to teach a violence prevention group and this is my first time looking at it and I don't have a plan. No. You got to come in there ready with a plan and a backup plan. And then know how to pull things together. And then also know when to calm things down, because sometimes things will get heated. Okay? Things will get heated and there will be a debate brewing in group, which is great. But we got to also know how to de-escalate, which we'll talk about that as well in the curriculum. Play that verbal judo. Okay, we're going to teach the students how to play verbal judo and transfer energy and not catch energy and all that good stuff. I'm so excited about this curriculum. I hope you guys take advantage of it and really reach out to me and learn how to teach it, because it's a phenomenal curriculum. I love teaching psychoeducation groups. This is the first of its kind, and it's going to change the game, y'all. It's just going to change the game. So I would love for your school to implement it. I would love for you to have it. And if you have any questions, you can email Megan at mim@thedivergencenter.com, or you can email me directly at dcollins@thedivergencenter.com, THEDIVERSION center.com, and we will get you trained, we will get you the curriculum, and we will get you going, because this is important. We want to prevent school shootings, we want to prevent gun violence, we want to prevent community violence. And I come from a city that is super violent. I'm from Bakersfield, California. Gang culture is big out there. I grew up in it, so I definitely understand violence. And it's not good for anyone. And a lot of times, things could have been prevented. Deaths could have been prevented by having a conversation, or just by, believe it or not, having someone to mentor them, to educate them, because a lot of our students are looking for guidance. And sometimes, if they don't have guidance at home, they go looking for it at the wrong places. And we want to prevent that. So, go to gunviolenceprevention.com or call 404-503-8069 and get the information, get the training. I look forward to training you and working with your school and organization on how to prevent school violence. Thanks for watching.